Hi friends, this is Carmen. Welcome back to my channel. I'm out on the balcony, so you know what that means. We're going to be potting up some plants. But today I am going to be trying out a new mix of substrate of soil, and I'm going to be using this right here. I'm going to be trying out some Coco Coir mix with some other things for my philodendrons and pothos, things like that. So let's get started and see how it works out. Okay, so I wanted to try out some new soil for my philodendrons, particularly the ones that I just ordered from Hirt's Gardens. I'll link the unboxing up here for you. But I had checked out quite a few YouTube videos. I looked at Amanda Plantarina's, you know, just some other Harley G, what she used, and I kind of came up with what I'm going to use. And none of them, I couldn't find anybody that everybody used the same thing, so I just kind of will be using what I have access to. Now, I have tried this already, but I actually ordered the wrong Coco Coir. I ordered this Mulch Coco Coir, and when I did it, I realized then that I had ordered the wrong one. But I did use this mix, and I planted up the neon philodendron. I'll show you a picture of that. This is much thicker. This is much more fibrous. Okay, and what I put in that was this mulch here. Okay, and I added, as far as for some drainage, I added the Orchid bark mix, the coarse blend. Got this at Lowe's. This is from Amazon. I got this at Lowe's. While I was there, also picked up perlite, so I added some perlite to it. And one thing that I'm using now is worm castings, worm poop basically. So those four things is what I added into this mix, and I did use it for a couple of repots already. Got a little bit left, but I wanted to try with the correct one, so I ordered this brick here that is for, it's basically a seed starting mix that will break down after you add water to it into this type of potting mix there. It's not soil, it's basically remnants of Coco Coir. Okay, so just basically put it in a bucket, add water to it, and it'll break up. So let me get the bucket and the water, and we'll start that process. Okay, so with my bucket here, I put my brick of Coco Coir in, and I'm just going to slowly pour water into it. I'm not sure how long this takes. I can see it already soaking up the water. It's still hard, so it'll take a few minutes. Okay, so that one brick, this is what, a 3-gallon bucket here. It filled it up basically. I had to take some out, or else I would not have been able to fit the other items that I'm going to add to this. So the brick cost me $2.98 on Amazon, free shipping with Prime. So mix that up real good. Let's start adding some things. Now, the recipe that I saw Amanda from Plantarina using was 60% Coco Coir or peat moss. She's trying not to use peat moss because of the mining of the peat and everything, and I agree with her. So she's really switching now to Coco Coir. So it's 60% Coco Coir, 30-35% drainage things like the perlite and the orchid bark, and then 5 to 10% worm castings. And that is what she's using for her house plants, the philodendrons, both those things like that. So it's about 60%. I don't have a measuring cup or anything. I'm just gonna eyeball this. I go a lot with how it looks. Now I use perlite. I don't have a place nearby that I can get pumice from. But perlite is an acceptable substitute. Actually, you know, pumice would be best. It's like baking almost, trying to mix stuff together. So you can see how nice and fluffy that is. Beautiful. So I think that's enough perlite. I'm gonna eyeball it. Let's add the orchid mix. Unless I can just do the handfuls in. Now my hands are pretty small, so maybe about 3 handfuls of the orchid bark. And then again, we can take a look at it and see how chunky it looks. The perlite and the orchid bark are for the drainage, to help water drain out of the pot. I need a little bit more. This is the coarse one. If you think about where philodendrons and pothos grow in the jungles, they latch onto trees, their roots latch onto trees and stuff, so this orchid bark helps in that, and the roots latching onto something within the pot. My arm's getting tired. Okay, that looks pretty good. I like the look of that. Last one. Let's give them a little boost, nutrients with worm castings. I've heard a lot of people using this, and like I said, the Fox Farm potting soil already comes with the worm castings in it. This is just a 1 pound little bag that I got on Amazon. I'll put the price of how much this was, and all of this will be linked below. So I'm just gonna grab it, give it a couple handfuls. Doesn't stink or anything. Doesn't feel weird. And just give it a good mix. So that would be about 5%. The mix is worm castings. Coco Coir, orchid bark, pumice or perlite, and worm castings. Okay. See that? Let me show you that. Well, I don't have the other one here, but the other one was much more fibrous, had the strings of mulch in it. But this is very fluffy. I think will be wonderful for it. I am going to get the plants. Okay. So the first one is this Maranta, and it's growing some new leaves. I did have to cut off 2 leaves down here at the bottom, right here, because they were dying. They were very yellow and browned out. So I did cut those off, but otherwise I have it away from the window, medium light, right next to the humidifier. It seems to be liking it, even still in its nursery pot, because that's unfurling there. So I have this little pot here that I had handy. exactly. This looks like it's standard soil. I can even see little green pebbles of, see the little green pebbles there? That's fertilizer. I'm gonna take those out. Roots look good. This was obviously a cutting that was rooted. It's perfectly in there. Hi. Now this substrate is moist already from the water that I used for the Coco Coir. So I am not going to water this right now. I'm just going to put it back where it was in its little location and then check on the soil in a couple of days. After I wipe, your hands do get wet and soil sticks to them, but I like that. That's going to be real nice. Okay, now this little guy is the one that was damaged the most in the unboxing, well, in the delivery, not the unboxing, in the delivery of it and the packaging of it. This is the Peperomia Raindrop, Peperomia Polybotria. It's got some new growth right here. There were 2 leaves that it lost in transport. I've watered it a couple times because this one is in a very small container and it seemed to be thirsty often. So, but these have not unfurled yet, whereas these have. So I'm going to put it in this a little bit larger terracotta pot. See how it likes it. A little hole there for it, and let's see what we got in here. I just watered this yesterday. Look how dry it is already. Let's take some of the soil. The roots are really wrapped around the soil, so I don't want to disturb them too much. It's from that dead leaf. So I'll just give it a little tickle. Like I said, it's perked up since the delivery. This has opened up more. This was tiny and closed. And these also are starting to open up. I'm keep an eye on this one. Okay. This is Philodendron heartleaf. Philodendron. Got this soup cup that I've had. I'm not going to put anything to cover up the hole because this substrate is pretty chunky. Not worried about it getting through. Little hole. This one, the only damage it had was a little bit of burning on the side, but I cut those off, and I think there was one dead leaf on it that I took off. And I have watered it while it was here. But it's got good roots. Soil off over here. I don't want to mix up the soil. And I've got another potting up video that I'm going to be doing. I have some cuttings from a very good plant friend from Florida. She sent me that I won on a giveaway that she had on her channel. This is, take that off. So I'm going to be using this new mix to plant up. There's some philodendrons that she sent, satin pothos cuttings, philodendron micans, which I do not have. So keep an eye out for that video after this one. Now this is a good size pot for this little guy. Yes, it is a trailing type of plant, but it's got a little growing to do before it gets to that point. So this one will sit on the table in front of the patio and do some growing before I hang it anywhere. Just got to get some trails on it first. Again, I'm not going to water this because this substrate is moist already from the water, the Coco Coir. Now this one does look like it's even going to start maybe the first trail that it gets. Okay, the last one here is this philodendron. Now, the little tag only says philodendron. It doesn't tell me whether it is, it says Scindaptus picta, yes, but when I looked online, I think this is a philodendron silver cloud. What do you guys think? Or is it the exotica? Now the one that Ruthie sent me, I looked at it compared to this. The variation's different. And her tag on there says satin pothos, which, you know, it's also confusing. Pothos, satin pothos, philodendron. What is it? Scindaptus pictus, yes, that's what it is. But as far as the other name, I don't know. To me, it looked like what they call silver cloud philodendron. Let me know down in the comments below, friends, what you think it is. Some of the leaves are a little bit worn. I've watered it a couple times since I got it. Like this one I'll probably have to cut off. So I have this aloe vera pot here that I had moved out, a cactus that had grown too big. So I'm going to use this one and put both of these in here. Now, those satin pothos that Ruthie gave me, I'll put in a different pot because I do believe those are different than these. Make a little spot for them there. Ooh, that's why it was so thirsty. It's got some roots. Here we are inside. It's actually the next day because I ran out of light. So it's the next morning. That's why you see the morning east sun coming through. I've got them lined up here. So here is the heartleaf philodendron, the Scindaptus pictus, my raindrop peperomia, and this one here is a Dieffenbachia camouflage that I had gotten in the same order, but this one I also had put in that different substrate. See how fibrous it is? So I put that one in that little snail one. I thought that was cute. So I've got the peperomia there, and then up there I have the Maranta. See, it's away from the direct sun, and it's right in front of the humidifier, so it should be happy right there. Let's hope. Okay, and I've got some other ones here. These were not in the order. These are just other ones that I had already. Well, there's that neon philodendron that I had potted up, showed you earlier, and my Brazil. So they're going to be here, and I believe that they're going to be okay. We'll see how that substrate does, how they flourish in it, if they're retaining too much water or not enough water, if I'm having to water them more. But we'll see how it is. The next experiment I want to do is with Fox Farm potting soil. I've heard a lot of good things about that. Nursery owner recently told me it's one of the best. That's what he uses. And I'm thinking that I maybe in the spring when I do some more repotting, use some Fox Farm to see how different it is. And that way I can compare the three, you know, because cost too, you know, I don't think Fox Farm is very inexpensive. But with these 3 pieces or 4 pieces, it wasn't too much. I'll have to calculate and put up here exactly how much I spent on everything, but those are supplies that are going to last me a little while. So, you know, it's all relative. So there you have it, friends. Let me know what you think, if this is a soil recipe that you're going to try, or have you tried this one already? Do you use something similar? Let me know, and you know, we'll compare notes, and let me know how it went out for you. Thanks so much, friends. I appreciate your being here today and visiting with me and watching this. If you haven't already, please do give the video a thumbs up. Really do appreciate all your support, friends. That means so much to me. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe and make sure you hit that notification bell, okay? Thanks so much, friends. Have a blessed day.